At first glance, gambling appears to be harmless entertainment, a chance to test your luck, maybe enjoy the thrill of risk, and possibly walk away with a little extra money. The flashing lights, the celebratory sounds of slot machines, and the camaraderie at card tables paint a picture of excitement and fun. But behind this facade lies a carefully designed system that ensnares millions of people in a cycle of compulsion and loss. Gambling addiction is a uniquely insidious problem, preying on our brain's most basic wiring and exploiting our vulnerabilities. To understand why gambling is so addictive and why its effects are so destructive, we must delve into the psychology, neuroscience, and manipulative practices that make it one of the most potent forms of modern addiction. Part 1. The brain's reward system and the power of anticipation. When someone places a bet, a complex chemical reaction takes place in their brain. Gambling triggers the release of dopamine, a neurotransmitter responsible for the sensation of pleasure and reward. Dopamine is the same chemical released during moments of joy, such as eating your favorite meal or achieving a long-sought goal. In gambling, this reward system is not just activated when you win. The mere anticipation of a win is enough to flood the brain with dopamine. This anticipation creates an intoxicating high, one that is amplified by the unpredictability of gambling. Unlike predictable rewards, uncertain outcomes are far more stimulating to the brain. The thrill of not knowing what will happen next, whether the next spin of the wheel will hit the jackpot or the next card will complete a winning hand, is a powerful motivator. It keeps players engaged, pulling them deeper into the game, regardless of the outcome. Over time, this process rewires the brain. It starts to associate gambling with pleasure, reinforcing the behavior and making it increasingly difficult to resist. Even losses contribute to this cycle, as the brain clings to the memory of past wins and the hope that another is just around the corner. Part 2. The subtle trap of control. One of the most deceptive aspects of gambling is the illusion of control it creates. In many gambling activities, players are led to believe that their decisions or actions can influence the outcome. Slot machines are perhaps the most notorious example of this. Modern machines are programmed to deliver near misses, situations where players come agonizingly close to a win. A jackpot symbol might appear just one position away, creating the illusion that success is within reach. This sense of being almost there tricks the brain into thinking that persistence will pay off, even when the odds are entirely stacked against the player. Other games like blackjack or poker blur the line between skill and chance, making players feel as though their strategy or expertise gives them an edge. While skill may play a role in some games, the house always has the advantage, ensuring that consistent wins are mathematically impossible over time. The illusion of control is a psychological hook that keeps people gambling far longer than they intend. It transforms what should be recognized as pure chance into a perceived opportunity to outsmart the system, fueling a dangerous cycle of risk and reward. Part 3. Intermittent rewards and the hook of uncertainty. The concept of intermittent rewards is one of the most powerful tools in the gambling industry's arsenal. Unlike predictable systems where actions consistently lead to results, gambling operates on a system of unpredictable reinforcement. A player never knows when or if they will win, and this uncertainty creates an addictive cycle of anticipation and reward. The psychology behind this is similar to what keeps people scrolling through social media or playing video games. In these scenarios, the occasional dopamine hit from a like or achievement keeps users engaged, even when the majority of their efforts yield nothing. In gambling, the stakes are higher, and the rewards, both financial and emotional, are more intense. Even small wins are enough to keep players hooked. These victories are often designed to occur just often enough to maintain interest, convincing players that the next big win is just one more spin, hand, or bet away. The combination of infrequent rewards and high stakes creates a powerful psychological trap that is exceedingly difficult to escape. Part 4. The modern landscape, accessibility and the lure of escapism. The rise of online gambling has transformed the landscape, making gambling more accessible than ever before. In the past, gambling required a visit to a casino or racetrack, adding a layer of effort and visibility that could deter impulsive behavior. Today, with gambling apps and websites available 24/7, anyone with a smartphone or computer can gamble from the privacy of their home. This ease of access removes many of the natural barriers that once limited gambling. It allows for anonymity, making it easier to hide the behavior from family and friends. For many, this leads to gambling in isolation, where the lack of external accountability exacerbates the problem. Online gambling also offers a dangerous form of escapism. Life's stresses, financial difficulties, relationship problems, or feelings of loneliness can temporarily disappear in the immersive world of gambling. The bright colors, fast-paced action, and promise of a better future create a seductive environment where real-world concerns feel distant. However, this escape is short-lived. Gambling rarely resolves underlying issues. Instead, it often magnifies them, creating a cycle where players gamble to escape the very problems that gambling has caused. Part 5. The consequences. Financial ruin and emotional devastation. Gambling addiction takes a heavy toll on every aspect of a person's life. Financially, it can be devastating. The need to chase losses, a common behavior among problem gamblers, leads to mounting debts and risky decisions, such as borrowing money or using savings meant for other purposes. What begins as recreational betting often spirals into a desperate attempt to recover losses, trapping individuals in an endless cycle of spending and regret. Emotionally, the cost is equally severe. The stress of hiding debts, lying to loved ones, and grappling with the shame of addiction can lead to anxiety, depression, and even suicidal thoughts. Gambling addiction often isolates individuals from their support systems, leaving them to struggle alone. Relationships frequently suffer as trust erodes and conflicts arise over money and secrecy. For many, the effects of gambling extend beyond themselves. Families are often left to pick up the pieces, shouldering the financial and emotional burden of a loved one's addiction. This ripple effect underscores the far-reaching consequences of gambling, making it not just a personal issue, but a societal one. Part 6. Why some are more vulnerable. While gambling has the potential to affect anyone, certain factors make some individuals more susceptible to addiction. Genetics and personality traits play a significant role. People who are naturally impulsive, competitive, or risk-seeking are more likely to develop gambling problems. Mental health also influences vulnerability. Those struggling with conditions like depression, anxiety, or ADHD may turn to gambling as a way to cope or distract themselves. Early exposure to gambling, whether through family or cultural normalization, can also increase the likelihood of addiction later in life. The gambling industry often targets these vulnerabilities, using advertising and promotions to lure at-risk individuals. This predatory approach exacerbates the problem, drawing in those least equipped to resist. Part 7. Breaking the cycle. Steps toward recovery. Recovery from gambling addiction is challenging but not impossible. The first and most critical step is recognizing the problem. Many gamblers are reluctant to admit their struggles, often due to shame or fear of judgment. However, acknowledgement is the foundation of change. Support systems play a crucial role in recovery. Groups like Gamblers Anonymous provide a sense of community and understanding, while professional therapy helps address the underlying psychological factors driving the addiction. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is particularly effective, as it focuses on changing the thought patterns and behaviors that sustain gambling. Practical measures such as self-exclusion programs and financial safeguards can also help individuals regain control. These steps, combined with building healthier coping mechanisms and finding new sources of fulfillment, pave the way for lasting recovery. Part 8. Conclusion. Gambling addiction is a deeply complex and destructive issue driven by the interplay of psychological manipulation, biological vulnerabilities, and societal influences. While it offers the illusion of excitement and prosperity, the reality is far bleaker. It preys on the brain's reward system, fosters a false sense of control, and traps individuals in a cycle of compulsion and loss. However, understanding the mechanisms that make gambling so addictive can empower individuals to recognize the dangers and seek help. Recovery is possible, but it requires awareness, support, and the willingness to confront the problem head-on. By shining a light on the hidden traps of gambling, we can help others avoid its destructive path and build a future free from its grip. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing facts.